Hello, I am Dipali Nevaskar, working as Assistant Professor in RMD Sinhagad School of Engineering, Electronics and Telecommunication Department. Today's topic for week 4 video is carbon footprint calculations for renewable energy sources. This particular video is being prepared for uh, faculty development program organized by DY Patil College of Engineering, Akurdi. The software used here is IBM Tririga version 10.5.1 for carbon footprint calculations. In the week 1, we have prepared one video which briefs you about the contribution of renewable energy sources such as bioenergy and wind energy in environment protection. Use of these sources minimize the environmental impacts and reduce minimum secondary waste and are sustainable based on current and future economic and societal needs. In today's topic, we will get this particular topic a bit forward by calculating the carbon footprint and looking how it is sustainable. In week 2, that video briefs you about permafrost thawing, which contributes majorly to carbon dioxide emission and the ways to reduce the thawing to save the environment we have seen. The video outcomes would be one will be able to gain the knowledge about carbon footprint and will acquire awareness about environment protection. How reduction in greenhouse gases can be reduced, how to calculate the carbon footprint, and about the sustainability. Now, uh, carbon footprint, before going to the carbon footprint, we will firstly see what is greenhouse gas. It is a gas that absorbs and emits radiant energy within the thermal infrared range. Greenhouse gases cause the greenhouse effects on the planet. The primary greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone. Carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide and methane and nitrous oxide, which are harmful, that are produced and released into atmosphere by our day-to-day activity. The table shows particularly the different standards, ISO standards, and organizations related to that particular standards and the objectives for which they were defined. Like ISO TC 238 is defined by Swedish Institute. Uh, that particular standard defines the standardization of terminology like specifications and classes, quality assurance, sampling, then certain test methods in the field of raw and processed material originating from agriculture, aquaculture, horticulture, and forestry to be used as a source for solid biofuels. Then we have one standard, that is ISO TC 180, which is defined by Australia. It is a standardization in which the field of it is in the field of solar energy utilization in space and water heating, cooling, industrial process heating, and air conditioning. We have certain other standards. I would be like I would like to have the discussion on ISO TC 207, which is defined by Canada. It is for standardization in the field of environmental management systems and tools in support of sustainable development. Here, there are certain different ISO standards norms specified for different applications. Like if someone is using solar energy, then he must refer to ISO TC 180 standard. Likewise, if someone is using solid biofuels, then he must see ISO TC 238. Likewise, such different standards are mentioned over here. Then this is the figure which shows relationship between ISO 14060 family of greenhouse gases standards. The major functions of ISO 14060 family include corporate decisions such as identifying greenhouse gases emission, reduction opportunities, and increasing profitability by reducing energy consumption. Carbon risk management, such as identification and management of risk and opportunities. Voluntary initiatives, such as buying and selling of greenhouse gases allowances for or credits. Then regulatory or government greenhouse gases programs, such as credit for early action agreements or national and local reporting initiatives. We have you then for showing carbon emission or footprint calculations, we have referred IBM Tririga version 10.5.1, which uses the following circular process. Like first step would be to trigger the carbon footprint calculator process, then retrieve the locations and organizations with changes, then retrieve all the inputs, perform calculations, create the carbon log with all the inputs and output data, then update the current period carbon footprint, then reset carbon calculation needed flag. So likewise, the carbon calculator function runs in a circular process each time it is triggered. Then about the wind energy, we are going to look forward in the wind energy source. Wind power can be used to generate electricity for your home using commercially available wind turbines specially designed for domestic use. Wind energy is generated by wind turbines and is mainly used to generate electricity. India is the world's fifth largest producer of electricity generation in this area. The advantages of this wind energy is wind turbines do not release or emit the carbon dioxide, or it doesn't pollute the air or water. Disadvantage would be the installation and maintenance cost is very high. Only few places are there in the world where wind blow continuously throughout the year. But with the advancements in the technology, these disadvantages are quietly overcome. Then let us have a look at wind power. This power has some of the lowest environmental impacts of any source of electricity generation. Unlike conventional sources, wind power significantly reduces carbon emissions and saves billions of gallons of water a year and cuts pollution that creates smoke and triggers asthma attacks. Wind farms also leave the overwhelming majority of land they are built on undisturbed. The size of domestic wind turbines vary, but as a guide, a typical domestic system is likely to be in the region of 2.5 to 6 kilowatts. The ideal site for turbine is on the top of a hill away from the other tall buildings. However, there are systems that have been designed specifically for more urban locations. Wind power systems can be installed in off-grid locations. A special inverter or controller converts DC electricity into AC at a quality and standards acceptable to the grid. For grid connected systems, no battery storage is required and any excess electricity can be exported to the grid and sold to the local electricity supply company just as solar energy. Small scale wind power is suitable for many homes. However, depending on your location, planning permission may be required from your local government, council authority, as visual impact, noise, conservation issues have to be considered. Now, there are different advantages of wind energy, wherein I would like to have certain major advantage. Have I would like to have discussion on certain major advantages like reduction in carbon dioxide emission. Wind power is a low carbon energy source. When a wind turbine generates electricity, it produces zero carbon emissions. The development of clean wind energy avoids significant carbon dioxide pollution. In the year 2019, as seen in this particular diagram, the electricity generated from wind turbines avoided an estimated 42 million cars worth of carbon dioxide emission. Similarly, the other advantages are reduction of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. Wind also helps cut significant amounts of these gases, air pollutants known for creating smog and uh, triggering asthma attacks. Reducing these pollutants help to reduce rates of asthma and other respiratory issues. Then next advantage is water conservation. Wind energy also saves billions of gallons of water every year, as I said earlier. Unlike thermal power plants, wind turbines require no water to produce electricity or cool power generating equipment. In the year 2019, wind energy generation reduced the water consumption at existing power plants by approximately 103 billion gallons, equivalent of 723 billion bottles of water. Then major again another major advantage is land usage and wildlife. Besides cutting air pollution and reducing water usage, wind farms have small footprints, allowing natural habitats and human economic activities to continue beneath them. For example, wind farm leaves 98% of land undisturbed, leaving it free for other usage like farming. Here are certain formulas to calculate the carbon footprint for energy. These are specified by IBM Tradiga version 10.5.1. So the formulas are categorized for carbon dioxide emission, methane and nitrous oxide emission. For scope 1, that is direct energy emission, and there is certain change for scope 2, that is indirect energy emissions. Here are certain factors which one might not be aware of. So those are the emission factor. It is a measure of average amount of specific pollutant or material discharged into the atmosphere by a specific process. Heating value is the amount of heat generated from the combustion of the material. Then GWP is the global warming potential and is a measure of how much heat a greenhouse gas traps in the atmosphere up to specific time horizon relative to carbon dioxide. So I have taken one example which will calculate the carbon emission because of household usage for a year. So I have selected country as India, and for the year 2019 from January to December, I have calculated the carbon footprint for normal household usage. Like electricity consumption, I have put it as 2400 kilowatt hour. We require, let us say, a family requires heating oil of 48 liters a year. Then LPG usage may be 1100 liters, and then have calculated the footprint, carbon footprint. So total house carbon footprint is 3.58 metric tons of carbon dioxide, wherein just because of electricity usage, the carbon dioxide produced would be 1.78 metric tons. So estimated carbon footprints are because of different usage of different resources like coal, natural gas, solar, residential. In this, we can see wind onshore can produce just produces 14 grams per kilowatt hour energy produces 14 grams of carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour of energy produced, wherein if you see this particular table, the wind energy produces just 11 grams of carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour of energy produced. This is the research done by NREL and BNL. So, looking at the yearly consumption of electricity as I have calculated per house, it is 2400 kilowatt hour. Carbon dioxide emission came out to be 1.78 metric tons, that is 1780 kgs of carbon dioxide, 1780 kilograms. Wind power generates 11 grams of carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour of electricity produced. So, for 2400 kilowatt hour requirement of a family, carbon emission by wind energy would be just 26.4 kilograms, wherein with the normal electricity consumption, it would be 1780 kilograms of carbon dioxide. So there is so much of difference. Now looking at the sustainability computation and standards, the ISO standard for wind energy is ICS 27.180, and its purpose is to standardize the wind turbine energy systems including generation of electrical energy. Wind power is a clean energy source that we can rely on for long-term future. A wind turbine creates reliable, cost-effective, pollution-free energy. It is affordable, clean, and sustainable. One wind turbine can be sufficient to generate energy for a household. Because wind energy is a source of energy which is non-polluting and renewable, the turbine creates power without using fossil fuel, that is without producing greenhouse gases or radioactive or toxic waste. In the year 2018 alone, Australia's wind farms produced approximately 33.5% of the nation's total clean energy supply, creating a further 71.5% of the country's electricity. Because of this accessibility, the cost of wind energy continues to be reliable and stable option for Australia to lean on. In a nutshell, an individually turbine costs approximately $7,000 to $20,000 to be installed, depending upon the specific type. So I would definitely say the wind energy is sustainable energy source. Thank you.